I am Lorraine Hendrickson, and I have had a career in financial service industry, primarily in the asset management sector, initially for large global financial institutions such as BNY Mellon and Merrill Lynch, ultimately working for a startup asset manager for the City of London. And I ended up there as an advisor from Deloitte before moving over to the client side as the third employee hired. First half of my career, very much on the technical side, mutual fund accounting, heading performance analytics out of the chief risk officer office. Second half, I would advise and implement strategies, helping asset managers do one of two things, sometimes both, grow revenue and become operationally efficient. I was audit chair of a small emerging growth technology company listed on NASDAQ. And it was in that role when I raised the issue of risk to the founder, who was also the chair of the board, saw how defensive and deflective he became. And if you know anything about the DCRO, the entire ethos and the underpinnings of all the teachings are about the positive value add of risk governance. And it's that teaching that helped me hone my approach going forward. And secondly, first half of my career, over 2 decades, was in global, highly matrix organization. But it was in my role with a startup asset manager where I really got to appreciate how important it is to the success of a company to embed proper risk governance in the very DNA, the culture, where everyone's a risk owner. Being relevant and staying relevant. There was a recent McKinsey study that showed of the companies listed on the S&P 500, in 1958, the tenure of those companies was 61 years. In today's era, the tenure of a company lasts no more than 18 years, which translates to, of the companies on the S&P 500, 75% will no longer exist in their current form by 2033. They'll either be merged or delisted or simply gone. So you must innovate to stay relevant, understand what it is you offer, what you need to change, should you expand into new markets, new geographies, and more importantly, is what you're currently offering, is it still going to be relevant in 3 to 5 years from now? And part of that innovation also allows you to utilize risk, because you need to decide when to dial up risk, when to dial down, manage and measure it, and do that all with the backdrop of AI, geopolitical risk, cybersecurity, regulatory, and climate issues. The language of a board is to ask questions. Firstly, board members that do their homework end up being neither reactive or passive and acting more as strategic advisors to executive management. And also board members who know who your stakeholders are. And I mean, not just the shareholders and investors, but know the stakeholders from the employees, from the clients, from the third-party suppliers, and even the regulators. And lastly, be intellectually curious. There is so much coming down the pike and so much we need to know as board members. So having that curiosity and willing to learn new things, but equally also being able to say as a board member, not be afraid to say, we need to bring in the experts on this. We need to know more about a certain issue or topic. Firstly, rethink your career in terms of how you can help the CEO. And also, for your value proposition, elevate what you do to why it matters. And then lastly, for board roles, most importantly, network, network, network.